Hey everybody, Fifth Horseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and today we are finally going to the moon with our lander probes, and we've got 5 of them. Here's the crazy lifter I built to send this thing up into space. Here's what's actually going to get us into space, here's what's going to get us to the moon, and here's what we're taking to the moon. I did not make this the way I said I was going to at the end of the last episode. There were some issues with that, and I just figured, you know what, I'm going to go with something I've used similar to what I've used in the past. And that is 4 radial landers, and then 1 on the top. This is the actual brains of the ship, and it will also be the last lander to go down. This is some crazy semi-asparagus-like staging. I don't have fuel lines, so this isn't asparagus staging, if you know what that is. If you don't know what it is, fuel gets run into the middle from the outside, so these would run out of fuel really fast, and then I drop off, and it peels off the outer rungs. This is somewhat asparagus-like, because these will run out of fuel first and drop off. Then these are going to run out of fuel and drop off. Then these are going to run out of fuel and I'm going to kick them off. But not because they're feeding fuel inwards, just because they have less fuel tanks. You'll see we've got 7893 fuel. That should be enough to get us to the moon. However, this isn't exact because these things aren't actually contributing to getting to the moon. Really, we've got 6388 to get to the moon, which is not exactly tight, but I would have preferred more. It's just, without fuel lines and without better rockets and stuff, I was getting a little crazy with how I was doing stuff. So I have test launched this. I know it gets into orbit, so let's go ahead and head out on the launch pad. And it's a morning launch. I timed this on purpose. Yeah, there's a lot of shaking going on in this ship. There's not much you can do about it. I timed this on purpose. I wanted to be launching into the sun because there's no people on this ship, so if I run out of power, the ship dies, and that'll happen if he launches into the sun. I've also aimed the moon so that hopefully, like, as soon as I get into orbit, I'll be able to just do my moon burn. That's my goal. So let's get the computer on. We're looking at this. Let's do a 3, 2, 1, and launch. And I forgot to throttle up. Let's go and revert the flight to launch. I even ran through a checklist in my head. The checklist didn't have throttle up in it. Yeah, I noticed I got some things in Kerbal Alarm Clock here. Hey, look, I'm throttling up. I'll tell you about those once we get going here. Let's go 3, 2, 1, and launch. That's better. Okay, you'll notice our atmospheric efficiency is climbing fairly quickly. In my launch before, it did get above 100, but it took a while to get there. Zoom out a little bit so you can see this whole thing going up. It looks pretty cool, I will admit. But yeah, we're at 99, so I'm going to crank down see if I just touch off on the throttle just a little bit. Look at that, I'm at like 99%, but it's just enough to keep it under, so like a little bit more weight and this thing wouldn't be able to get above 100. I have to keep going down because as this thing burns through fuel, it's yeah, you can see the city there. There's a new one of these, and actually I haven't upgraded to the newest new one yet because I forgot. But the city lights, people haven't turned their lights off yet for the sunrise. Okay, we're turning the thing back down again. We're getting pretty high up here. These thrusters really do a good job of getting us up into the atmosphere here. Crank up the throttle just a little bit to keep us right on the 99% mark, if we can. As soon as we get to 300 meters per second, I'm going to start turning. Another thing I did with this, guys, I added control, what do you call them, gyroscopes, control wheels, to make it easier to turn, and it does make it easier to turn. This thing, I mean, you've seen me try to turn some of my ships in the past. This thing turns like a dream. Okay, we're about to dump our first fuel tanks. And also, I don't care about atmospheric efficiency anymore, that's for sure. Look at that city down there. And goodbye. We're cruising at 45 degrees. We should probably turn a little bit more even. seconds. Our apoapsis is already at 68. I'm going to kill it when we get up to about 85-ish. I would like that to take as long as possible. And it looks like that's about it. Okay. Well, we're cruising up to orbit. Got the clouds below us, the sun in front of us. Yeah, what these are up here, this Kerbal alarm clock, how much time do we got? We got plenty of time. But 2 minutes till apoapsis. We are going to have to burn soon. I'll tell you what, let me set up my maneuver node because I don't know how long it's going to be. But I know it's going to be longer than this because I'm going to lose that stage. So 77 by 88. We can do better than that. There we go. 79 by 85. Get a little bit more just to kind of circularize it a little bit. That works. It says it's going to take 28 seconds. It's probably going to take closer to a minute. So we'll probably start burning in about a minute, give or take. But anyway, these are the transfer windows to different places. You'll notice that I put Joule to Moho. That was a mistake. I'll have to fix that. I thought I was doing my transfer to Joule. See how quickly this thing rotates though with those reaction wheels. We could do some science up here, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. And I forgot to set up my action groups. Not that it's a big deal. But we don't have a ton of electric charge anyway, and if you run out of electric charge, you die in this ship. Got about 15 seconds. Anyway, but these are transfer windows to different planets. When we hit one, I'm going to send a probe. Just whenever that happens to happen. Okay, we are about to crank it up here. And let's go now. These engines aren't going to last very long. Outer ones aren't going to last very long. Goodbye. Yeah, see now, boom, we got 35 seconds to go. So that was it was a wise choice to start right over here. And these engines might not even last the full way, but it looks like they're just going to. It's sad I'm going to be leaving some space junk up here, but I'll worry about collecting space junk later. Love those clouds down there. I can never get sick of looking at them. Oh, crazy time. Okay, we are basically in orbit now. Okay, that's good enough. We don't have to get that close. Let's delete this maneuver node, and you'll see Moon is over there. So we're gonna be swinging around the planet here, and right around here we're gonna want to do a maneuver node. Probably a little bit sooner than that, which means it's coming pretty quickly. Now we're going to want to go to about there. I was kind of expecting Moon to have an encounter. There we go. There's our encounter. Let's try to get an actual encounter instead of what's going on there. There we go. Periapsis 28. That looks good to me. Not that concerned. We got a 40-second burn, probably more than that because we're going to lose our fuel tanks here. Although without all this extra weight, it's probably not going to be quite so bad. But let's say a 40-second burn is actually going to be, let's just say it's actually going to be a minute. And let's cruise along here, get ourselves down to 30 seconds. Ourselves aimed perfectly, and once we get this burn going here, oh, there's moon rising. Everybody says you should burn at moonrise, and we're basically going to. Let's start now. Okay, we're gonna lose these fuel tanks here. They're actually lasting longer than I thought they would. And go. Okay, goodbye. What do we got? Yeah, 50 seconds. That's probably about right. But anyway, these landers, they're pretty simple. There's not much to them. They've got the probe core on the top. They've got an antenna to send anything back. They've got the basic science bay here. can see it. Actually, you can see it better on these guys. They got the basic science bay here. They got a lander. They got an engine with a tiny little fuel tank, just enough to deorbit at Moon and then land. And actually, they end up with about, I should say they should end up with about a half a tank of fuel. Similar landers, I've landed many landers on the Moon in this game before career mode. And these little fuel tanks are more than enough to land a simple lander like this on the Moon. But it never hurts to over-engineer a little bit. Okay, do we have a Moon encounter? It looks like we do. Looks like we don't. There we go. What's our periapsis there? Let's go ahead and... Come on. There we go. Just burning to get it around 30. Yeah, 30 sounds good. Okay, now I want to get north of the Moon. And if I burn right now, that's not going to actually do it. What I want to do is I actually want to get out here. I want to add a maneuver out here. This thing, I almost want to just delete this mod because it's getting annoying. If I burn out here, that's where the goodness is going to happen. And I should actually be looking at it from the other side here. See, and this will actually get me coming in over the top of the Moon. And the reason I want to do that is it screw? And it does kind of screw up my periapsis a little bit, but I can probably... I can't... There we go. I should probably get rid of this one. There we go. If I speed up as well, there we go. I'd like to keep it around 30. Maybe 50 at the most. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, that works for me. But we've lost a lot of our over the top. 87... Yeah, that's good enough. It doesn't have to be a polar orbit. It just has to be not equatorial, because I want to be able to cover a lot of the surface of the Moon. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this guy in orbit and around Moon, and then as I get over an interesting crater, as an interesting crater's coming up, I'm going to pop one of these guys off and land him in that crater. And then he's going to orbit again, and yada, yada, yada. That's the plan, as it were. So we're going to do that here, and let's go ahead and just get ourselves set up on our maneuver node. No sense not. Oh, there's a little bit of a glitch there. I don't know if that's going to come across on the video, but that was interesting. I'm a little leery to try a landing check because I'm afraid that my landing gear is going to clip in and screw something up. So I'm not going to do that, but I know the landing gear works. I mean, it's, you know, what are you going to do? But let's go ahead and add a maneuver node, alarm, and then let's enjoy ourselves here. Let's go into free mode. Let's get our, I'll tell you what, let's get our screenshot here. For the... And now let's crank up time. Crank it up a little bit more. A little bit of flickering on the lights there. Not a big deal. Kerbal just looks so much better with the lights in the cities. It would be a shame to not have that mod installed, that's for sure. Okay, our maneuver node is coming up. And we got a 2-second burn. It really doesn't matter when we make this burn. Actually, we're aimed in the right direction. We might as well just kill this maneuver node. Do it by eye. Interesting, it's actually getting our closest approach even more and more. Oh, but now it's starting to go away. Once it climbs back up to 30, I will kill my burn. Okay, there we go. Now we've got a good polarish orbit. And now it's just getting there. So let's Go back to watching Kerbal go away. Let's crank this up. When we do our sphere of influence change, this will jump over to Moon. Oh, still a little bit of iffiness going on the planet back there. Hey, there's Moon. Okay, now at our periapsis here, we're going to do a maneuver node. If I can click on it, there we go. Add a maneuver. Go ahead and get us into orbit. Nice circular orbit of, what is it, 30 by 30, we'll say. Let's see how these look here. Yeah, I'm just dragging my maneuver node over the periapsis that's there currently, which will get these things closer to each other, making it hard to see everything, but looks like it's 30 by 32. Yeah, see, if I slow down more, that's bad. So let's go ahead and speed up more. Let's go 32 by 32. That's perfect. That is the orbit I want. It's an 18-second burn, and the current stage, we don't care about the surface anymore. Let's go to vessel here. The current stage has 58 seconds of burn to it, so this is actually really good. We'll still have plenty of burn to do little course corrections along the way, and then ideally we'll still have enough fuel in this guy. Once I've dropped the first 4 stages, then what's going to be left is this guy who's a fully functional lander on top of this stage. I'll be able to deorbit this thing and then crash it into a crater and then land this guy in that crater. That's my goal. So we have 5 ships in 5 craters, all able to do an infinite amount of science with their little science bays and bring back all the science that they had. I gave up on the goo containers. They're kind of annoying because you can't center them. And you definitely can't center them on top of one of these frickin' Stay Putnik balls. I'm sure it's possible. I got frustrated. So, where's Moon? There's Kerbal. Moon's got to be... There's Moon. Okay, we've got our maneuver node, so let's go ahead and add a alarm for that. And then enjoy ourselves. Out of the way. Here we go. Oh, this is looking nice. I just love the way that looks with the... Whoa! Okay, here comes our maneuver node. Okay. It's the cratered surface of Moon. Our first really... Or actually, I think it is our very first probe. We're doing it full. We're doing 5 of them. Why send 1 when you can send 5 for 5 times the price? We're just cruising down here to get to about 10 seconds. And burn. And burn. Why am I not burning? I have electricity. Oh my god. I lost my... Because I was hovered over this, apparently, I couldn't burn. That was crazy. I've never seen that before. Okay, well, hey, let's keep burning here. It's gonna suck. My orbit's not gonna be very good. But I got plenty of fuel. I can fiddle with it as time comes here. Hopefully, if I just do what the maneuver node says, my orbit will end up okay. Let's see. 30 by 35. Yeah. It's not the awesome that I was hoping, but what are you gonna do? Okay. The moon's going this way, which means this is dawn right over here. So I want to, as I'm coming around this way, I want to set up... See, it kind of sucks because we're doing this in the dark. I almost want to, like, let a bit of a month go by. Because this would be a lot better to come down and land on a place here, but then we're going to be landing right at dusk. Not that that's a big deal. But it just could be better. So, tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to, here's a trick. I'm going to switch to this flag. And the reason I'm switching to the flag is because you can speed up time a lot faster when you're on something that's on the ground. And then I'm setting the moon as my target here, or as my center. Then I'm going to crank up time a bit, and we're just going to watch and see what happens. Yeah, see, it's becoming more day as the time goes on, and we're also coming up on this crater here. So I think we're gonna send our first ship into the center of that crater. Maybe one more orbit. Yeah. And we're gonna stop it right here. Okay, now we're gonna jump to this ship. Hopefully it's not... It is in the dark, but hopefully it's not going to be in the dark for too long. Oh, it's actually not in the dark. That's good, actually. Okay, sweet. And it's going to be in the sun the entire time, which is good. Okay. Oh, we could actually land 2 ships. We could land one on this crater and one on this crater. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. We're gonna go for the crater that we saw before. So here's what we did. What we're gonna do. We're just gonna control from here. Not that it matters that much. We're gonna control from here. So now we have a new center of control, and we're going to decouple this node. And now we have a ship. And let's see, that ship has less torque than the main ship had, which is kind of funny because it doesn't have a torque thing. We also need to activate the engine of this ship. Now let's test our landing gear. Looks good. Okay, we are aiming retrograde, which is what we want. Ignore all those explosion sounds. We want to be opposite this crater, which we basically are, but I'm going to wait until we actually are opposite the crater. Which is right about here. What I'm doing is, this is the center of moon. Now I'm opposite the crater. So now I'm going to get myself aimed perfectly retrograde. I'm going to go back into map mode. And I'm going to burn until our periapsis... I need this up to burn. Okay. Well, our periapsis comes down right over this crater here. Not too close, because I want to clear the crater wall. But... not too far. I want to just skim the surface, which it looks like I'm doing. I'm not willing to go too far. Okay, now is a good time to hit F5. So we're going to do that. Now, he's on his trajectory. The rest of the ships are heading off on their own, and we'll get back to them later. But for right now, let's go ahead and observe the materials bay, just for the fun of it. See what's in there. See if it's worth anything. It's worth 24 sciences. Yeah, let's go ahead and transmit it. And we're going to use a lot of our energy for that. You're going to see our electric charge actually has gone down, but that's okay because we've got solar panels. Now, the solar panels aren't actually doing that much for us. So I'm going to aim them more at the sun. There we go. Now we can transmit our science. Yeah, it has to fill up all the way to 10 to transmit science. So that would have taken forever if it wasn't aimed at the sun. So we'll just let that go. In the meantime, we're just waiting for it to come around. Okay, is it done? No, it's not done yet. We can kill this alarm, and we can kill this Cathane scan thing. I don't want it in the way, but I'm going to want it eventually. I'm just going to observe this again just for the fun, but I want to see... Yeah, 25. It takes 25 of these recharge and drops. That's crazy. We're at 92%. 100%. Okay, we finally got it all. Let's go ahead and keep this data. Might as well. It's not going to hurt anything to keep it. We can now go back to our retrograde. I'm actually going to rotate this around because I like having up on the nav ball being up on my view as well. Now, landing probes, I don't go into chase mode. Because it's not optimal. I would show it to you, but it annoys me when I have to look at it myself. But anyway, let's go ahead and speed up time here. Did I ever hit F5? I don't think I did. Let's go ahead and hit F5. It's quick saving the upper right there. Let's go ahead and crank up time. Now we're going to come around here. See, and I could actually just land in this crater if I wanted to. But I'm going to keep going. Let's go ahead and reset ourselves here. We should probably aim ourselves a little bit this way. We need to see where we are. Oh yeah, we've got a long way to go before we're going to be going. So let's keep things going interesting here. We're getting closer and closer. See, now time is slowing itself down because we're getting too close to the surface. That's not a big deal. And we're coming up on the crater wall soon. Here's where it gets fun. Get a little bit more dramatic when you're close up. And here's the crater wall that I was afraid of hitting. So let's. Oh, there's an arch. You see that? There's an arch right there. That's pretty sweet. I've never seen one without looking up where it was first. That is sweet. I'm actually going to kill my velocity. We're going to land as close as we can to that arch. Well, not as close as we can, but we'll land near the arch. Now I'm just killing my horizontal velocity. This surface velocity is the important thing. It's got to be surface, not orbital. Orbital is bad as far as this is concerned. And there are better ways to do it. There are smarter ways to do this and use less fuel. But as you see, I've still got half a fuel tank on this bad boy. So I'm not really hurting for fuel. And I'm so not hurting for fuel, I am seriously considering backtracking. If I aim it this way... I guess and a little bit north. Where is that arch? Is that it? I don't want to use too much fuel looking for the thing. That was crazy, though. I had never seen one of those before. I mean, well, I shouldn't say I've never seen one before. I've seen one before, but I've never just flown over one and been like, oh, look, there's an arch. That was crazy. I can speed up time a little bit. Now, the important thing is we have to land back in the crater, although we don't have to. If we get close to that arch, I'll just land in it. Or right next to it, and then I'll name this thing Arch. For all I know, it's a biome. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Let's go ahead and aim ourselves more westerly. Where was that thing? That's hilarious. I saw it by accident, and now I can't find it on purpose. I thought it was right on the rim of this crater here. Maybe I'll land. Oops. And then look around and then take back off. So I don't think it's over here. I think it's over there somewhere. Okay. I've killed our horizontal velocity. So now I'm going to land us here if I can. Hopefully this is moderately flat. Looks like I'm landing right on the rim of a crater, which is a little annoying. That was just cool. Sorry, I did not expect to get excited to have anything exciting happen except for maybe crashing into the crater wall. And it looks like I'm not going to have enough fuel to take back off very effectively, at least. So Is that my shadow? Yeah, that's my shadow. Or maybe that wasn't my shadow. My shadow should be over there somewhere. Looks like it's pretty flat here. And we're landed. Yeah, pretty flat. Not bad. Yeah, I don't really have enough fuel to get out of here. But now that I'm here, I can zoom out a bit and pan around and find it. Where are you? I wonder if it's not loading because I'm not within the distance that you have to be. It's like you have to be within 2.5 kilometers of it. So I'm like close to the arch. Yeah, see, it has to be within this realm of all these dotted, like where you see all the rocks. And I'm obviously not. Oh well. Let's go ahead and do a reading here. Oh, I already did a reading. Let's go ahead and send it. Review data. This was from space. So yeah, let's go ahead and transmit this. And then we're going to do another observation. This is the moon's highlands. So yeah, there's nothing interesting. Well, I mean, it's worth a lot of science, I guess, but let's go ahead and transmit that too. In the meantime, I'm going to be stupid. I'm going to hit F5 first. I'm going to try to get in that crater. That crater that I eschewed before. It is that direction. I have to be very, very stingy with my fuel. Because I'm going to need to be able to land with it as well. I'm going to give myself a little bit more oomph this way. Yeah, it's not going to work. I'm just going to land. Yeah, he's stuck here. Okay, are we near enough to the crater that it counts now? Nope, we're still on the highlands, so let's go ahead and transmit this data. Now we're going to rename this guy Highlands Lander. And we're going to make him a lander. He's just basically marking that he is sitting in an area that is highlands. Because he's right on the edge of... I guess it's not even the crater I wanted, so no big deal. I wish I knew where that arch was. Very annoying. It's probably like right on the lip of this crater or something. It just hasn't loaded because I'm 3 kilometers away instead of 2.5. Oh well. So that's how that works. Now let's go back to our ship here.